And there were a lot of things that I wanted to happen, you guys, that didn't happen. This is another fun thing about this little TTRPG chat that we're having right here, is that I'll tell you things that were supposed to happen in an alternate universe. In Kusotori's tutorial, there was supposed to be a lot more fighting. In fact, I had fleshed out the characters a lot more, just in case Kusotori wanted to do something like take a sneaky approach. And I gave them all names. I had scripts prepared for all of the characters' conversations with each other. What I had done, actually, is I made a document where I gave all the characters involved weapons, very specific weapons. What I'd hoped that might happen was Kusotori would maybe try and sneak into the house, overhear some of their plans, something that may allude to connection with her brother. The Phoenix Pendant is really important, you guys. Essentially, there are some cults involved, and I think I made it pretty clear they were vampires, yes? And Tiara's brother's involvement in being in Egypt has something to do with it. The house that Kusotori infiltrated belongs to a new sect of a cult that is not as active anymore. Vic was never supposed to go on that little journey with Kusotori. Which is why I found it so amusing when Tiara was like, "You will come with me." But it made it quite interesting. I mean, it might have been for the better because she wasn't exactly equipped to go against that many vampires at one time. How is Vic hit by the Ina van and come to work with Tiara at the same time? All right, so let me explain something to you. Do you think that all the sessions are actually in time order? Or could some have happened before others? What if, in fact, Tiara was actually the very last one? Yuul and Watoto arrive at about the same time, right? We don't know about Scout yet because we left off with them driving down the highway. But when Tiara gets to the bar, there's no one outside. Scout could be the first one to arrive. You never know. You never know. Why is Vic a janitor everywhere? Seems kind of sketchy, right? Why would you be a janitor suspiciously at every single place that these people are? And somehow be involved in this mysterious organization involving a bar? Why would you do that? We already met the character that looks like J-Chad, who is apparently assembling a crew from the beginning, right? I was thinking of giving that character pink hair to have it kind of be a me stand-in, but then I realized that Vic has pink hair, so nah. Vic is a self-insert. Vic is you, yes. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Probably not. Possibly. All the other girls have characters. I should get a character too. Yeah. Will Yuul get enough sleep? Maybe never. Ah, yes, Yuul's tutorial. There was a lot that I had planned for that did not happen. There was a whole scenario that didn't play out. In fact, I had about 5 different slides saved with different scenes that never got shown. Yuul was actually supposed to enter the school and discover the professor's plot. And an altercation was going to happen. But I was still going to unleash the hook, regardless. Interestingly enough about the hook is that the hook appears in places that are full of debauchery, more times than not. Yuul did just come back from a frat party. Not to mention everything else that's going on related to the hook, I would say, around the school, because the hook is related to this, what's inside the truck. The hook is a true fae, an incredibly powerful changeling. Did not think Yuul would sustain that much damage. I know some folks were saying, why did you unleash the hook on Yuul first session? Well, let me tell you something. My first session in the World of Darkness, the hook was unleashed on me. That was how my character entered the World of Darkness. So yeah, Yuul got to have my first experience. I like party scenes in games like this, so I wanted to have at least one party scene, and I knew that we had to have a hunter group that was just a fraternity. But there was also a sorority as well. A sorority that seemed to kind of not be on friendly terms with the hunter fraternity. Why is that? Who could say? But they're all very obsessed with Yuul's professor. And obviously what the professor is doing is something supernatural, so perhaps they themselves could be supernatural connoisseurs. I mean, it would make sense, right? For the hunters to oppose them. Actually, Yuul's roommate, Neeta Friend, was a character that I came up with literally as the stream was beginning. Isn't it strange that both Watoto's parents and Scout's parents are missing? Odd. All the parents are just up and disappearing. What the heck? No one's allowed to have parents in this universe. They all will be taken away by me. Watoto's father was not supposed to survive. The shadowy being is actually a nexus crawler. That's what they're called, nexus crawlers. And they are horrifying creatures that can basically bend time and space and reality. Which is why they were always in the corner of the eye. You can't really get them out of there once they're there. They can do crazy shit. There was actually another character who was supposed to make themselves known in that, the Magadon warehouse, that for some reason Watoto's father was connected to, at least what used to be there. I think I mentioned that Papa Watoto had a pretty crazy job back in the day, right? There was the bomb situation, you're gonna blow up that place, right? The other salesmen who were also planning on bombing the place because it was a thorn in their sides. One of them was actually a traitor. That was the plan, at least, for them to actually secretly be a researcher working in the warehouse who encounters Watoto. With Watoto's choices, it just didn't fully come to fruition. So, the mushroom bomb. Yeah, old Crinkle has got some werewolf stories, though, I tell you what. I think old Crinkle could just be hallucinating from that moonshine, but, you know, werewolves love moonshine. So he may have seen some of them passing by and didn't realize that they weren't werewolves. You gotta realize that not only werewolves that like old Crinkle's moonshine, but maybe also the local furries. Hey, let them get their drink on. Nothing wrong with that. I'm so glad so many people like Dr. Nice. The doctor wasn't supposed to have a personality, you guys. The doctor being in the town literally only existed so that Papa could rant during dinner time about how annoying it was that there was a new doctor in town. That was it. Scout wasn't supposed to go want to visit him. That was completely driven by Gura herself. I was very, very surprised that so many people liked the doctor. I mean, the Dr. Nice is genuinely just nice. Is that really so hard to believe? Gosh. What about Scout's sister? Yeah, I guess that's another character that I didn't realize existed until the last minute. I completely skipped over the sister part. So now I'm like, uh-oh. But now we've got another friend who, I don't know, might be able to help out at the bar. We're all on a big magical journey to the city. A lot of people actually pointed it out that the way that the professor had worded it on the phone, Yuul didn't have to get rid of him like that. When I thought to myself, okay, we'll have the professor tell Yuul to get rid of him, I wasn't thinking murder. Believe me. And my thought was that Yuul was just gonna knock Vic out or something like that, and then go back inside the school, or just because Vic was walking away, she might just say, forget it. But no, Ina did take my words literally to say, okay, we have to actually really get rid of it. It did sound like the professor was suggesting that. I think it depends on the person. Maybe Yuul is the first one to go slasher. That's when your morality drops from 7 down to 1. Eventually, when you get to 1, I think you can guess, you turn into a bit of a murderous psychopath. At that point in the game, you hand your character sheet over to me. It's mine now. And you leave the rest to me.